Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good evening everybody. It's, what is it? Halloween 31st, right? Let's go. Gonna have some good stuff tonight. We have Militiaman and Crew here. I want to say thank you to all the crew members. I want to say thank you to Samson because she's just a rock star. She brings in so much good news. And we have others too that bring in stuff that we vet that help so much. It's a fascinating team effort that we have with Patreon and in our Discord room. So everybody that knows that, you get all the information quite quickly, and then it takes some time to decipher. So if you want to join in early and get the stuff fresh, come on into Patreon with Militiamen and Crew. Okay. Hey, the Ministry of Oil confirms the government is continuing to pass the oil and gas law. This has been a topic for since 2003? It's been like, 20 years? I'm kind of teasing, but fact remains is it has been a process, I think, in earnest, really, since about 2007. But it's in the forefront again. And why is that? Well, if in fact that they do get the oil and gas law done, they're going to need a valuation for that. And they're going to need to know what to pay the wealth of the citizens, a fair distribution. So this particular article is going to talk about that again. And if you think about some of the things that we're going to see things like the oil and gas law. We're going to see things like the WTO. We're going to see things like repricing of food. We're going to see things like the border crossings in dinar only. So you're going to see things like that. And you have to ask yourself, is this just like any other day? And is this the blah, blah, blah that's all over the internet? I don't think so. I think that we here with the Militiaman and Crew, we study and we give the news as it comes out. And yes, of course, some's good, some's bad, some's indifferent, but we do the best that we can to iron that out, because we have about 30 to 50 years of experience collectively in a lot of that, if you look at it standpoint of how long some of us have been involved in this. The cool part about a Militiaman and Crew is that our data sources kind of are around the clock, and so it helps with the time zones, and it just really works well. So hopefully you guys take that into consideration, because going into this end stage, we're probably going to have some more things to talk about, and that's everybody's concerns, safety, where you're going to go, who you're going to talk to, professionalism. Are you guys going to get, tax accountants? Are you going to go out and look for professional advice, attorneys, brokers, banks, all of that stuff? So those are things that's going to be on you, but to try to do it smartly, I think it's going to be important that you do that and get some professional advice no matter what. Militiamen and Crew are not professional advisors. We don't make ourselves out to be, and we're not going to do that, but we will try to help people make right choices in the sense of what sounds logical and what sounds appropriate for the circumstances. So everybody just keep that in mind. But here again, back to this governmental document. It says it's continuing to approve the oil and gas law while noting that its approval is subject to consensus. Well, of course, it's going to take a lot of people to be on board. The government is committed to approving this law within the current government cycle. So this present government cycle is which they're hoping to have this taken care of. I think that's probably apropos for this time frame. The government's committed to approving this law. The oil and gas law aims to manage the process of oil wealth in Iraq and achieve fair distribution. I think that's going to be a no-brainer. I think we all know that they have new systems in place. They have new digital systems. They're going to be able to know where the money's going, where it's going, when it's going, who it's going to, know your customer. I'm fairly certain that's all part of this whole process. That might scare the heck out of some of the people that are in the Kurdistan region or in the government, or even in Baghdad, the center. There's going to be some people that are not going to be too happy about the fact that their cash cow from stealing from the black market and the parallel market, it's going to come to an end. It's going to come quickly, and I think it's already started. I think you guys, if you've been paying attention today, you probably saw some videos of some people getting picked up with stacks of $100 bills, bank cards, and all kinds of things, which is to be expected at this stage of the game, is because they're so used to corruption that they just don't realize that they're on notice. So I hope everybody's watching, and those that are out there understand that your government's coming after you if you're not playing by the rules. All views are respected. We must put the national interest above all considerations. There you go. They're telling you that the government wants to basically, let's get this done. Let's do it above all considerations. Yeah, all considerations. Everybody's going to have to be considered in this particular thing. They have drafted the law and made it necessary amendments to it in order to serve the public interest. And obviously it remains to be for the government to submit the draft law and an agreement to the House of Representatives for approval. So we all know that. But the bottom line is they're going to need to know the value of the currency, the value of their country, their sovereignty. They're going to have to know that to be able to do that, to do it fairly. Okay? That is the biggest thing, and one of those things I think is going to be on the table in the next few days, or started today, was that the fact that there's accession possibilities with the WTO, World Trade Organization, so that Iraq can do commerce with fair trade around the world through their borders. And you're going to see that they're in the process of working on that. So the agenda is public information. If you go to the WTO's website, I suggest you do that. Anybody and everybody should be able to go and search it. It's not easy completely, but I think you can do it if you just play by the rules and ask smart questions in your search engine. You'll be able to find some stuff that you probably never thought you could find. So check it out. It says here that the head of the Parliamentary Rights Bloc sends a message to the UN. Her name is Plasher, to get out of Chapter 7. This guy's twist is kind of interesting because basically there's a little bit of turmoil going on with Kuwait and their maritime ports, if you will, or their international law when it comes to demarcations. I think that's probably the proper term for it. Yep, I think it is. It says discussing the file of maritime border demarcation by the United Nations representative Janine Plasher with Kuwait is unacceptable and interference in internal affairs, and we demand it. In other words, this guy is kind of suggesting that, hey, don't worry about that part of it. Let's do the Chapter 7 part of it. The Chapter 7 part that she's talking about, or he's talking about, is carrying out the duties to assisting the Iraqi foreign minister to complete the procedures for Iraq's exit from the unspoken Chapter 7. And we can call on the Prime Minister to protect the sovereign rights of Iraq. Okay, maritime borders are sovereign rights too, but the most important one, the unspoken Chapter 7, I believe, I'm not sure 100%, but I believe that unspoken one is because of their currency exchange rate. That's the unspoken Chapter 7, and that has to do with the UN. And until they are released and allowed to go Article 8 compliant with the IMF, et cetera, ascend to the World Trade Organization, be able to have a valuation for their oil and gas law. I think you get the picture that that's what's at play right now, and it's at play today, this week. It's been in play. It's a big thing. It's a global thing. Remember, al-Sudani is the one that was at the UN Assembly and was noted to be able to bring confidence to J.P. Morgan, was be able to fix the financial system, the international global financial system. So they have been on a tear for the last year, at least. Okay, the monetary, what is it called? The Ministerial Council of Economics got started in November of 2022, and all the results, all the unbelievable amount of things are end results of that. And now we are with the WTO to see if they're going to have a session. But remember one thing, they're going to need the international acceptable exchange rate for so many of these things to be in play. That's my opinion. The account inventory for the, let's see here, for the Securities Commission, the ISX, I guess, They're saying that they'll have a quantitative leap if foreign investors are granted above 49% shares in securities that they can buy. So what is it basically stating? It says that here that there's been an increase in the volume of trading shares. That's about 70%. So what's that mean? That means that their stock exchange is on a tear. It's getting ready to explode. It's probably going to keep growing and keep growing and keep growing, probably like we've never seen before. That's a possibility. We'll see how that turns out. But it says here the Iraqi stock market is the last place where the penny is traded and its black market devices the price of the dollar. So it's the last place. So in other words, it's not going to be a penny anymore, and the black market that deceives the price of the dollar is going to go away. If you really take a think about it, banks back in 30 years ago in Iraq, their valuations were not penny stocks. They were multiple dollars. So think about that. And here they go on and talk about some of the companies that may be of interest to everybody. They talk about, of all things, a software company, not software, a soft drink company. They talk about banks. So they're talking about banks. Why would banks be a big thing? Well, think about that. We're going to talk about doing loans. They're going to be doing the HCL, which is the hydrocarbon law. They're going to be selling cars and real estate and all their trade in the dinar. There's going to be some money to be made. So take that into consideration. It says here the Iraqi Stock Exchange is encouraging in foreign investment portfolios to enter the market. Depends on creating appropriate atmosphere to pass the Iraqi Securities Commission law, which was sent to the Council of Ministers over 2 months ago. The most prominent amendments that took place in the Securities Commission law stipulate an increase in the percentage of foreign participation in companies listed on the Iraqi Stock Exchange. I don't know, 49% shares is going to entice people so they can own a bigger share of the company. They can feel a little more confident. So it's going to be a little more fair, and that they're going to be looking to grow. So that's huge. I think down here at the bottom it says the most effective sectors in the market are communications. Think about that. It's probably what, telecom, all that, banking, of course, soft drinks, which are represented by the Baghdad Soft Drinks Company. Fairly certain that we had a friend, one of the crew members, that may have had a connection with the gentleman that his family may have owned that. But we'll see. But in the meantime, we're going to keep moving forward. It says here the executive procedures for the electronic payment system, electronic payments point of sale, and there's a huge list of things that are in this data that I would highly recommend you read it and understand it. Because why? Because it's not just going to be done today, but it's going to be done over a period of time. And basically the executive procedures of point of sale is that they're wanting to ensure and attract reputable companies in this field for all their principles to keep and facilitate trade. So this article, the quote is that the headline, executive procedures for the electronic payment system and electronic point of sale. And Al-Sudani is one of the people that are back in this whole thing. And so I would highly recommend you guys take a look at that. It's about 3 pages long, but it's definitely part of the process. And here we are as of the beginning of next month. So think about this for a second. As of the beginning of next month, they're telling us that the Kurdistan will adopt the Iraqi dinar in crossings and airport transactions. When's the beginning of next month? Okay. Kurdistan regional government decided today, Tuesday, to start dealing in the Iraqi dinar at all border crossings and airports starting from the beginning of next month. I don't think I have to tell you that's tomorrow, but that's what they're saying. Fascinating. It says the Director General of Customs in the Kurdistan region, Samal Abdul Raham, says in accordance with a decision issued by the Kurdistan regional government, all transactions at border crossings and airports will be in Iraqi dinar starting from the beginning of next month. Their words, not mine, just keep that in mind. He goes on to say that the government had previously used the dinar instead of the dollar at some crossings with neighboring countries, adding that there are still some crossings that will be converted to the dinar tomorrow. Fascinating, okay? They go on to say what law it is. It was, I think it was resolution number 227. It was circulated on what was it, the September 20th, 2023, published on 10/16, which was, what, a little over a week ago, I think it is, in which it stated, based on the provisions of Article 8 of the Kurdistan Regional Council of Ministers, Law number 3 of 1992, it was decided to collect fees, customs duties, customs taxes at borders and gates, customs points, and all are Iraq dinar only. I think that's a pretty heavy little article there. It's pretty fascinating. And lastly, tomorrow, the launch of the largest campaign to sell food items in Iraq. Interesting timing, right? The Minister of Commerce, Athir al-Huwairi, announced the launch of the largest campaign to sell basic foodstuffs at competitive prices. When? Tomorrow morning, Wednesday, Baghdad, and all the provinces. Fascinating coincidences. These all came out this afternoon. This one was at 24/6/14, so that's what, about 8 o'clock in the evening, their time, I think. Let's see. It says that the news agency that the campaign will include items such as eggs, sugar, chicken, veal, flour, tomato paste, adult milk, all these different food items. And basically, as the food company will launch them for sale through its sites and marketing outlets in Baghdad and the provinces, in addition to mobile wheels that will tour all the regions at competitive prices and within the next 2 days. So it's not just going to be tomorrow, but it's going to start tomorrow, and it'll last for a couple of days as far as they're concerned. The purpose of operating these trucks is to confront speculators and meet the citizens' needs for these materials. So their whole focus is that we're going to take care of the citizens, we're going to do it right, we're going to trade in the dinar, and we're going to sell food at appropriate pricing. So it makes you think that all of this stuff is going down during a time when the World Trade Organization has many countries, including Iraq and Abu Dhabi. And what are they talking about? A cession to the World Trade Organization. And they're not all at the same play of state, but state of play, I should say. But they're all going to be talking about where they are and how they're going to act when it comes to joining the international markets. And so it's going to be pretty exciting to see that we see all these things I just talked about, all aligned, okay, with things going on globally, right? We all talked about the development road, which is all about the investment budget. We haven't seen them spend any money on those projects yet. And we haven't seen the interconnectivity of other things completely with an international acceptable exchange rate. But we do know the borders are all hooked up. They told us the other day, this last weekend, I believe it was, that they said they had all the borders, all the ports, Kirkuk International Airport, all ready to go. So they've painted the picture. I'm just explaining it to you. And I think that we're going to be in a really good place. Each day goes by, we're just going to keep watching and seeing how they do this and see how it unfolds. But if you haven't been able to see what I've been sharing with you and aren't excited about it, I don't know what else to say, but enjoy. But thank you all for being here with me this evening. And for all the newbies out there that are coming in, hit that like button, give me a subscribe, and we have options for to keep this content going through PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle. So thank you very much, everybody. Pleasure being here.
Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.